Powered by Riverside.
Hey guys, I'm so excited. I can't believe it. It's been so long. Welcome everybody to another episode of Unscripted with Champagne DeVoe, aka Lulu. I'm so excited to be back. I apologize in advance. I know it's been like, I want to say, I think it's been about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks since I've done an episode. Reason being, and I'm so excited to be back. You guys have no idea. I have so much to tell you. I'm in New York and I'm so excited to be home. So shout out to all my New Yorkers. I'm back home. And that was a big surprise. I was surprising. My mom actually knew I was coming down and I was surprising my sisters, my grandmothers, my dad. So it was really, something I had to keep under the wraps. That's why the other episodes I was like, please stay tuned and wait, and it's going to be worth it. And here we are. I'm actually in my yard. I wanted to do a whole different spread for you guys and make it more comfortable and more, and honestly, I love being out here. I'm out here all day. My dad can tell you, I'm smoking out here, rolling up my blunts, watching my shows, catching up. And, it's always it's my comfort zone. So I'm just excited for you guys to see it. And I'm excited to tell you about what's been going on my trip. And like I said, I was surprising everyone. So everyone was so excited for me to be home. I've been cooking. So if you guys go to my page, you'll see I actually made some, as soon as I landed, I surprised my dad and I ended up making pasta with mussels, and red sauce, which came out fabulous. So I was able to get some of that done. Because a lot of people like when I show my cooking videos, I know I get asked how come I don't do it. And the truth is, it's like I always say, I like to edit it on TikTok. As long as it comes out cute, I'm with it. I'm like, but to go step by step, I'm still learning. Thank God I have some new, people around me that have really taught me, you know, some new ways and new things to do so I can make it as fun as I possibly can. Bear with me 1 second because I forgot to put on my special light. There we go. Now, I'm so excited and had to wait to tell you guys this because if you go to, well, it's not posted anymore, but on my personal page, which is _ Champagne DeVoe, and my page for the show is _ the unscripted show. So you guys, there's no more. I've come to the realization that even though it is a podcast, I also have a live show that I give you guys, and it's my manifestation. I've put it into fruition. So I no longer want to refer to it in that way, but you can always still, again, listen the way you do. But anyway, back to my story. I came down and I had posted twice at the end of August and in the beginning for the Battle4Brooklyn, which was of course everybody. If you know, I watch all the shows, and it was for the Housewives of New Jersey. Of course, it was curated by Dolores Catania, who shout out to Dolores. I love her so much, and I thank you so much for allowing me first and foremost to be a part of that, because the experience and the connections that were made and just the overall memories that I will take with me will last me a lifetime. So I'm forever indebted and forever bonded. I can't say anything else. I just love her, and I really wish her even her family, the warmest people. But anyway, let's get back to the story because I'm ahead of it already. It was a charity event in Coney Island, which was for a charity from Maimonides Hospital against the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And let me tell you, I felt so blessed and so fortunate to not only, like I said, we've known each other for years. I met her when she first became a housewife. This was actually before they even did promo for, she was doing press, but I don't even think they had released that she was. I don't think so. I could be wrong. She might remember. I remember it that way. And anyway, I get my ticket and I'm sitting third row. If you guys go to my page, you'll see all the pictures. And I was sitting like third row from the field. So at one point, everybody was there. I seen, if you guys go on TikTok, one funny Lisa Marie was there. She is the best. She makes you laugh like nobody's business. And to be honest, when I was on, she followed me, and then I followed her, and then to see her and to see how she got her success and how she was able to do it, and being from Staten Island and me being from Brooklyn, it was just really, really cool to connect with her. She was so, so cool. So shout out to her. Who else was there? Of course, all the housewives were there except for Teresa and Jen, which I think after the season finale, I think we all know why they're not there. But I got to meet Rachel Fuda, who is a sweetheart, and her belly looks beautiful, beautiful. Like, I really couldn't, even if you're someone that watches the show, I think everyone should, if you're a fan of them or if you're a fan of the show, should always attend an event because it gives you a different perspective. I don't ever go in with any kind of perspective because, like I've mentioned in my other episodes, I've never met them. So I can't say, I can speak on how I felt on the episode or whatever, but I can't speak to who they are as people because I didn't know them. But to be able to meet her, and it has nothing to do with the show, but I was saying to be able to meet her and everything, she was a doll. She was a sweetheart. And it was just an event that there was so much love. Everybody was there for the best cause. There was so much money raised. And everybody played. Everybody was so sportsy. Everyone was into it. But anyway, I met Rachel, but let's go backwards because this is the kicker. You guys will laugh. Who I didn't expect to be there. We're going to go back and forth. Follow me. I see this woman in the long, to me, I thought it was blue. And then, because I was from here to there, I really couldn't tell. Then I got closer and I was like, okay, it's gray, but she had long black hair and she was dark. I didn't see her face yet. Then when she turned around, it was the Ion. It was Chanel Ion. And from behind the field, I was like, Dolores! Like just trying to get her attention. And when she saw me, I said, do you think I could get a picture with her? And she said, I don't want to get into too specifics, but she did tell me yes. And she told me, you're welcome to come on the field. Just once you come on, you can't leave. I said, I don't care. I won't leave. And I felt so blessed to be a part of that because I got to meet Chanel Leon. And when I tell you that she warmed my heart in a certain way, she's just so down to earth. She does not look like she's 50. Okay. She looks fabulous for her age. And, she actually taught me and a bunch of the other men that were there, she was like, you have to use castor oil. Castor oil. Just use it. It's the best. I don't use anything else. And just the way she complimented me and the way we spoke. She even gave me some information that I won't even say on the show, but it was just so great to meet her. And she's such a warm-hearted person. Really, who she is on TV is who she is in person. She doesn't care. She shares everything. She loves her fans, and to be able to and it's something that I never watched the show last year. I started season 1, I believe in February or March, and then season 2 had started, and then I fell in love. Of course, by then I was in love with the show, and I said, oh my God, I hope one day I'll be in New York and they'll have an event and I'll attend it and I'll be able to meet them. Because contrary to belief, even though I'm friends with some of the housewives, I don't call them and say, hey, can I go? Like, I really don't. But sometimes they'll say, hey, you didn't come. And I say, okay, you know what? I have to come. I have to really, because it makes you really feel, I say appreciated, but that's really not the word. There's a much better word than that, but it just makes you feel like wanted and, to feel a part of something that's bigger than you. It was just really, really great. So, I ended up in the dugout. Nicole Pepper was there. Love you, bro. That's my dog. I mean, you guys have to go to see everything. I met Dorinda Medley. I met, who else did I meet? I met Danielle Cabral, sweetheart, very competitive. I mean, her husband and her kids played, and her kids were whacking the ball. I mean, we were like, yeah, like chanting. So sometimes people don't realize, like, it's a show, but just like all of us, whether you're on it for 4 seconds, 6 seconds, a whole season, 2 seasons, the whole lifetime, sometimes, yeah, you're always going to have a bad edit at some point, and then you have to speak to it, you know. And I'm not speaking to her. I don't care about that. I'm just saying in general. Sometimes people create a perception based on just the television, and sometimes that's why I've always said you have to go out there. You have to sometimes meet them. Sometimes you have to change the environment, because Bravo is just 50 Cent is, if somebody says 50% of it, I think that's too much. I would say maybe it's 30% of their life, maybe, you know, because they still have to do other things outside of that to continue in, you know, in the fruition of their careers, you know. So, but to make the long story short, to see them so competitive, she was so warm. And another person that, you know, like, I'm not from Staten Island, but I lived out there. So to know some of them and to see where they've started, whether they came from True Life, whether they came from just CNBC, just to see people grow, whether you've known them from a TV till you meet them in person, it's just cool. It's just really cool. And to meet them and to know that you leave off creating those new friendships and new relationships is a great thing. We had people, I met people from People Magazine, some podcasters. Oh boy, who else was there? I felt like everybody. Jen Fessler. Jen Fessler is a sweetheart. I mean, I've never seen somebody say, "I'll take a picture with you," as she's casually dunking the pretzel in the mustard. No problem, honey. And pose for the picture. It was just amazing. Everybody there was a team player. They had nothing but love. They took pictures with, I would say they took pictures with anyone that asked. And, you know, there was no, which is to be expected. It was a charity. I don't think anybody would fight at anything like that. But there was nothing you could even think of. Everything ran perfectly. We laughed. There was fireworks at the end. The children that played Mamamides, and the way that the men and women, a shout out to them at the hospital, that they come every year and they come and they support the cause, and they really play. And this year they won. So, I mean, even though we, you know, of course, when you're on one team, you're like, but then it's like, but it was still a charity where money was raised and the people had a fabulous time. There was so much love and laughter. You know, at the end, I think we were all whacked and ready to go home and go to bed and, you know, recalibrate and get ready for what's next to come. But that's why I didn't do an episode for 2 weeks. I wanted you guys to exclusively see everything over there and see how blessed I really felt. And I wanted to come on and share with you guys. And hopefully soon I will have one of them on. I don't want to get into too specifics about it, but I know that you have to ask certain permissions, I guess, to have certain stars on. I've never heard of that. You know, and I also know that some people want to get paid to be on it. And I'm like, well, even if I had $45,000, that's a car for me. I'm not paying you 45 grand to come speak for 20 minutes. And that's why I said, during the whole process of the show, I've always expressed how networking saves your life, because sometimes you just make a very good friend without any intention, and you never know the bridges or the extensions of what they can do for you without even trying to do it for you, you know? Because primarily when I go to these events, and I don't even go for work, I go for enjoyment. But of course, when you're meeting someone, they want to know who you are, what you do, and everything. And to be able to promote the fact that I'm still a makeup artist, and I've been able to do that for almost the last over 10 years, to be able to say that I've been in the realm of entertainment that for that long. And yeah, nothing happens overnight, but the older I've become, the more important it is for me to stay on top of it, to not let go of it, and to be consistent. That's why I wanted to come on and also tell you guys I'm so sorry, because every week I've been so consistent giving you guys new material and new things to discuss. And, I also took the time to take perspective from my listeners that have already listened. And, I've gotten great feedback, but there's also, and even if I don't like to use the word negative, because I don't like to consider any feedback as negative. But I also looked at some of the feedback as the feedback where I have to tune it up. I can't just have a show that's based on just Bravo television. I plan on covering a lot of more about my life in the future. I just think the reason I haven't is not because I'm afraid of being transparent. I think it just depends on when I feel like discussing it, when I feel like breaking that barrier. But there are so many more topics that I have for you guys, and there's so many other things I have to say and express. There's other shows I was told I have to watch, that a lot of you are into. Like I've never watched Love Island, so now I'm like, okay, I started watching it, and I think Ariana's a great host. I think the way those people find love is insanity, but she's a great host, and I think that now is her time to shine, and I think she deserves it. I think and that's why I also like the show, because there's a part of me that feels like in today's day and age, there's just so many, and especially as a gay man, I feel like there's just, and I'm an old school one, so I feel like, you know what, I may have these lashes on, but I will fight a man if I have to, just because I feel like men's business is men's business. Like I don't expect the woman, and I feel like, not that this was what the episode was going to be about, but in Ariana's case, with what's going on with her and her ex and all that stuff, I'm like, dude, you're on a show already with making a lot of money. Get over it. Either go find Miss Lady in the Hills that changed her name and ran away from it, or go find a new woman and get over it. You had your moment. Now she had hers, and rightfully so, she deserves it. Nope. Sorry about that. But I tell you, to be a part of that, and also to discuss the shows that I even love. Like I know even Bravo, I bring it up, but even Dubai. I know I recently brought up the show, but I love it. The dynamic, I think people really need to start watching it, because it's such a, I think, understated show, in the sense where, because it's a different culture, it's in a different place than what we're used to. But there's a lot of forgiveness in the show. There's a lot of rebuilding. And I think that's probably, in my opinion, why the shows nowadays lack a little bit. Like, a little bit of that that reconnecting with each other. There's been so much bickering that you have to stop and say to yourself, well, come on, at what point do you guys mend fences? At what point do you stop saying you hate each other's guts? Either, you know, that's, I mean, I know it's been said a lot, especially every time I open up Instagram, every time I open up Twitter X, I keep seeing all this crap, but I'm like, at the end of the day, it's so not necessary. Even if, I just feel like the networks really have to get to a place where they can redefine the shows and the fun and everything that it's supposed to, that originally what it entailed. Because I tell you, otherwise it's like, sorry, I have no idea. There's always somebody calling me, and it's like, leave me in peace. Anyway, but yeah, so that was my thing. But again, back to Dubai. That's why I said I recommend you guys really watching it, because it's just so different from. And I'll be honest, and I even love Salt Lake City, but the last season of that was like a big bordel. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I was like, there's so much fighting at the end. There's so much. It's like, when I first started, I mean, not me, but like, I started watching the show when it started, like the originals, even down to Atlanta, OC. And I'm like, it didn't start like that. They were fighting, but there was more showing of the beautiful homes and the way they raised their children and stuff like that. And I still think that you can be a housewife and your children don't have to be involved, but you have to find a way to maneuver that ball. You have to find a way to keep going, keep yourself, I guess, relevant, but without creating like freaking drama with everybody in your cat. Like, I mean, even OC just started, and I'm like, oh my God. But I tell you the truth, OC this season feels like what it felt like when it started. So I feel like they're starting off strong, and they're going to end strong, because they never disappoint. They really just never ever disappoint. But I feel like some of the other ones, like even Potomac. Potomac is just finished filming, and Beverly Hills ended, I think, the way it was supposed to. I always think they're a pretty good season. They always have a pretty good season. Um, but I'll tell you, like some of the other ones with some of the cast shakeups, I don't know. I worry about Atlanta when Atlanta comes. I worry about when even though I just attended Jersey, I didn't ask none of those questions. So as I sat there and I looked at the current cast without, and again, I know them all, and I do feel, like, listen, I like all of them, that, I mean, for their own reasons. There are some that are not at the top of my list. I'll be honest about that. But, I do feel like the cast I was just with, they get along tremendously with each other. There was no, and they weren't filming. The filming is over, obviously, but still, sometimes you see them in the moment, and you say, "Oh my God, like, do they really get along?" Or is it, But that wasn't. And even then, I got to see Margaret. Love seeing Margaret. I saw Marge Senior. She looks fabulous. Every time I see her, she always wears the cutest things, and she's living her life. I love to see when you're out there living your life, your actual fulfill. And it makes you happy. To see Margaret there was great. She looked great. Who else was there? No, Jackie was not there, which I think all of you know. Like I said, the way the show ended, I think it was to be expected that they weren't going to attempt. I got to meet Paulie, who was so funny, and he really loves Dolores. And shout out, and I got to see Gabby and little Frankie, and I love them. I've known them so long, and Gabby I haven't seen. I would say in like 6 years, maybe. So to see her, we tackled each other. We took pictures and everything. It was so nice. I think the work that she's doing out in Africa and everything she's doing is just really, I'm so proud of her. I really am so proud of that family. They've always been so welcoming to me. And I always wish them all the best success because they're always so loving, welcoming. Just really, they really are loving, welcoming. They always want me to be a part of what they do. And that keeps me close to them. And I admire that. What else? I think I covered just about all. The only one that didn't come was Gertie, and I wish Gertie a speedy recovery from Housewives of Miami. She did an augmentation on her breast. I don't know specifically as to what, but I wish her a healthy, speedy recovery. We always exchange a lot of DMs as well. And I saw her jersey in the locker room too, and I was like, oh, I would have loved to meet her. She was such a special person to me, especially like I've mentioned in other episodes with my family and friends I've known that have gone through cancer. And, I like to support those in their journey because, when you show your support for them, it really means a lot. Sometimes I don't think people realize the power you have and the ability you have to motivate those around you, but you have to be cognizant of that, So for me, I think just to be able, like I said, to attend it and be there, I thought was so, so, so great and so amazing. But with that being said, I know it's not a long episode, but I had to come on and share with you guys how amazing the charity was and how amazing it was to be a part of it, meeting all, the people that were there and all ones that became friends, all the people that I laughed with. My best friend came. I shout out to her. I love her so much for always supporting me in whatever I want to do. And I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for always coming on and listening and always supporting me. Your DMs and everything, they really, really mean the world to me. It always reminds me the reason as to why I started this and the reason why I continue to do this. And as I announced a couple of weeks ago, with all the numbers and everything by myself, because obviously I don't have a producer, as I've mentioned, and the numbers are so great that there will be a season 2. There are going to be 2 more episodes. Next Wednesday, you will have a regular episode, and the following, you will. And then, yeah, then after, we're going to take about a 2 to 3 week hiatus just to revamp. I'm going to catch up on some shows, get some new fresh materials. I have some better interviews coming up for you guys. And it's just amazing that I've been able to, get this far and just do it naturally and do it in the best way I know how. And I couldn't thank you all more for your support. And like I said, make sure, if you haven't already, make sure to follow me on my personal page, which is _Champagne Devote. And if you don't follow me there, feel free to follow me at our show, which is _the with 2 E's, the unscripted show, one word. And I'll see you guys there. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you leave a review for me. Please don't forget that, because as I mentioned in other episodes, we actually, me, I keep saying we, but me, I try to, right after every episode is aired, audio wise, it goes live directly afterwards, so you can see it in whatever angle you prefer. And I'm going to be doing some changes, some good changes, not any changes to the poster art. You guys are not going to see any changes in the cover art. You won't see any changes as far as the dynamic of the show, but you will see so much more. There's going to be a book club I'm going to try to incorporate. I'm going to incorporate a news week. I'm going to have, probably, I'm not going to say too much. I may or may not have a person who will come steady and do like a news week with me every week. And I'm only saying news week right now because I don't want to give away the real name of what it's going to be. And every week I'll be sharing different things. The only thing I don't really share on here is politics, and I just don't get into them. I feel like that's your personal take and that's how you feel. But when it comes to other things, as far as the entertainment industry, myself, and I actually in June we covered men's mental health. I can't wait to cover when it's mental health awareness, just the month itself. I can't wait to cover the next coming holidays. We have Halloween coming up. I know that I'm saying it too soon, but that's the truth. We're almost into September, so there's so many holidays that are coming up. There's so many more exciting things I'm going to share, other projects I might have coming up that, when I have time to talk about it, I will. Well, not when I have time to talk, when I'm allowed to talk, I should say. And I will share that with you guys as well. And I want to thank you all again so much for listening. And I know this week is short, but make sure you tune in next week. It's going to be a longer episode with so much more filled in stuff, so much more intriguing things to come in. And like I said, make sure you guys follow me on my Instagrams. Make sure you follow me on YouTube as well. It's underscore Champagne Devo. Actually, it's either underscore Champagne Devo or at just Champagne Devo. And you guys follow me there. I'm almost at 50 subscribers. So the minute you guys get to 50 for me on YouTube, I'm actually going to try to incorporate going live after each episode, or at least, the day after. And we can do a day after, and I can answer any questions you guys have, anything you might want to know about me. And who knows? I'm even thinking I've been starting to get some fans, and believe me, I say that with such love. I love that I have met so many people I don't know that reach out to me, and they love the encouragement that I give them. They love whatever advice, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And you guys being on this journey with me and always supporting me whenever I get to the place where I feel like, because it'll happen soon, where I'm gonna do like maybe, not now because it's still too new, but I know eventually I'll get to a meet and greet state, and I can't wait till that happens, because then I'll be able to meet everyone that's been supporting me from day one. And that really, really, I'm trying to put a heart in my camera, but I suck at it. But it really means the world to me. So thank you all so much for listening. Happy Friday. Have the best weekend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, leave a review. And if not, don't forget to catch up. Remember, there's 11 episodes already. Today would make episode 12. And like I said, one or two more, and then that's it. And then we'll have a nice little break, and then we'll see you guys back for another season. I cannot believe, before I leave too, I thank you all again. Just to be able to hit even 1,000 was great for me. So to be able to continue to be on this journey with you all, and to have your all support, all of your support, excuse me, it's just absolutely amazing. With that being said, have a great weekend. Love you all. And don't forget to check in. Like I said, like, subscribe, and don't forget to repost. And if you guys listen, let me know. Share your thoughts. Do it all. Love you all. Bye.